Welcome to Naked, the podcast about authenticity with Matt and Phil. How are you doing today, Matt?
I went from really happy to really pissed to back fairly happy, and I'm probably gonna feel better after this, after starting this episode. How are you?
Good. It's number 33. And
Yeah,
since we talked
go so
about
fast.
death last week, we have to say that it's about Jesus' age when he died. So just saying, 33.
Oh, okay. I was lost for a moment. Yeah, yeah.
What I can remember. So yeah,
Well,
that's
I'm
that.
gonna
It's
be.
completely useless fact, but it's. I think I wanted to put it there.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna be 33 in September, so let's hope I'm not Jesus and I don't die at 33.
I pass it through, so I guess I'm not that important. I don't know.
At the same time, I could resurrect, right? So
Totally. So, how are you doing? How was your?
good.
Yeah, that's
How
it.
was uh, how was what?
How are you doing? I was a weekend, as usual.
Oh, okay. Well, we're Tuesday now, so normally we talk on Monday and we talk about the weekend. Um, yeah, that was a nice weekend. Relax and no, that's I just remember exactly what it was. I was just thinking about Sunday. Sunday was a nice day because we went out to visit a new little village of indigenous people, which are artisan. Really nice what they make. And we hiked up a mountain. The view was gorgeous. But Friday and Saturday were really shitty days because my landlord decided that he was a total asshole, and I was wondering if he was like participant in a worst landlord contest, because I just don't know how it could be worse. So yeah, but I'm not gonna go into all the details, but basically we're just gonna leave at the end of May, but we're supposed to leave at the end of June. So we have to find a month to another place in San Cristobal before we leave traveling uh, for the summer. So yeah, I was I asked Jamie that question, and I was wondering, like, it's so funny how and I'm not like I'm being humble saying that, because you could ask Jamie and she would tell you the same thing. And how can you be such like a good tenant, like a good person? We've been there for 7 months, okay? We took care of that place probably more than him. We were there when the previous landlord was there. He was really cool. This new one is a total asshole. And I mean, he stole stuff from us. He don't take care of the place. He start drinking at 8 in the morning, smokes cigarette everywhere where the clients are, in the rooms, whatever. He has no clue to uh, how to manage Airbnb like that. It's such a beautiful place, and the guy is a total dickhead. But how can you be such a good couple, like nice person, always taking care of everything, always saying "Hola, cómo está" every day, smiling? Like I even thought at some point he was like a friend, right? Like never leaving any shit behind, always washing our dishes, everything, always telling him, if you have any problem, just come and talk with us. If you need us to leave because you want to make more money out of the apartment, there's or talk with us. If you want to raise a price, come and tell. Like, we did everything right. And then one morning that guy wakes up and he's like, I've lost so much money with you. You're the worst. You need to leave by the end of the month. And also, we said to each other that we would leave a month's notice before leaving. So us, before leaving, we would leave a month notice, and him too. So 10 days before the end of the month, he's like, you have to leave at the end of the month, like a total rant. And he's really harsh with his word, and he's really disrespecting Jamie. And I was really wondering, like, how, like, why? Like we talk a lot about attraction and everything. And I was like, how can I attract a total dickhead that's going to just pull this trick on us when we've just been so good for 7 months? It just blew my mind.
That's the topic of the day.
I don't know.
That's a really deep question.
Have you
first
experienced
of all, do you
something
think
like that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Tell me a good one.
So let's not talk about dating.
You're dating landlord?
No. Let's not talk about dating. I don't know. Like yeah, let's talk about dating. Why not? That's a good subject also to talk about that, because that's most of my experiences. I like to believe that I'm a gentleman, in which I believe that I respect the person I'm with. Maybe I didn't all the time, and if I didn't, I'm sorry about that. But there was some experiences that I had in the past in London and everything, where basically it's not the same thing, but people ghost you, or people are not straight to you, or people think they're nice but they're not nice. They're not. Yeah, or people do harsh things also towards you. It's and yeah, you're wondering, if you do that with me and I'm a gentleman with you, so what do you do with people that are assholes? Do you kill them? Do you cut them and give them to your dog? Something like that. just for a proportion of thing, like if you escalate? Do you escalate the stuff? Do you escalate? No, I don't know. It's
do you treat them well because they treat you like shit?
Yeah, but it's the same. I don't know. Like that's a really good question, because I'm always in between that people don't owe you anything. So however you react, they don't owe you something because of that. But at the same time, I feel like respect is just a base for me. It's just like it's not even, it's decency. That's the word I was looking for. Decency.
Yeah, and it's like common sense. Like it's like the basis.
Yeah, common sense. I don't expect that from all the people, talking with or working with. I'm honest.
Yeah, and I'm always.
But yeah, decency. But I have a question. For you, because in that is that, do you think he's himself and he's having fun?
No. I think this guy is one of the saddest person I've met in my life, and he numbs himself every day. He's basically an Italian Rastaman. He smokes weed all day long. He drinks beer and wine all day long. Like literally, I go down after waking up. I go down to the kitchen and it's 8 a.m. and he's already drinking beer. He smokes cigarette all day long. And it's funny because it's such a powerful mask that he puts on, because if you look at him, he just looked like a kind Rasta guy. Like, he doesn't look at all like he would be really, really messed up inside, but he numbs himself so much. And I mean, the guy is like, my guess is that he's like between 50 and 55. And Jamie told me he's probably like 35 to 40, and he aged so much because of what he does that he looks like that. I was like, that's impossible. He really look old, but
no, it's possible.
Who knows? Yeah, who knows? And yeah, and that's funny because I've seen his girlfriend at the time when he arrives, he was with a girlfriend, and I can tell you she was a high level bitch, like a real, real bitch. And I just knew it straight when I saw her. Uh, and then after that, I've heard them like fucking having like these huge fights and whatever. So I was thinking to myself, if he can stay with a girl like that, he's definitely like not respecting himself. So if he doesn't respect himself, I cannot expect respect from him. Um, but yeah, it's it's tricky.
It's, to be honest,
I don't think he's happy.
I've been thinking about that topic, because I don't know how, because you notice that. So how do you react? Do you feel sad for them? Do you feel pity? And do you excuse them for their reactions automatically because they're like
Oh,
that?
oh my God.
You know?
You just pointed out. That's exactly what I want to talk about, because that's where I'm torn right now. I'm torn because on one side, he disrespected me and Jamie so much.
Yeah.
And on the other side, I'm all about compassion. I'm all about um, understanding that people that are like that, they're just living in ignorance, really. And
Mm-hmm.
so I'm really torn because on one side, I just want to punch him straight in the face and tell him, if you ever talk to my partner like that again, I'm gonna fucking kick your ass. Like, we're gonna knock your teeth out. And on the other side, I just want to tell him, I wish you to be happy because you're so sad. You're so sad inside. Your life is miserable. So I really, really am torn between these two, and I don't know. Like, if I try to think in the highest possible way, I'm trying to think what would help him the most and what would help him without making anything negative for me. Like, how can I respect myself and love myself and also show, like, seriously, I don't know. I think
Like
he would come at me.
for me it's the simplest part is, what will it bring you?
What would it bring me in both, you mean?
In both ways, because you're saying, okay, whether because I know, because you're smarter than him, you're more enlightened than him, you're more aware than him, and you have a better control on your life and your emotion than him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're certainly way happier than him. I'm not sure, I don't know, I don't know the guy, but I presume it's that also.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, you're in a position of power. And for me, it's, should you, knowing that you notice that, knowing that you have all the cards in hand with that, should you use that power, against people in a certain way?
So what you mean is that I should choose the compassion option, or just nothing? Like, there's the third
Because
option. Like,
no, I mean, sorry, I'm just going to continue on my way, and I wanted
yeah,
to
yeah,
let
yeah.
you answer, because in a certain way, right now, he's a slave from his emotions and from his situation. And if you're, how do you say that, city? If
Concede.
you're concede to that fact, and you're conceding also to those emotions, are you better than him?
Yeah. So that's the thing. that's that's exactly what it is. But there's there's a third option of just not engaging also, like, because basically how I responded to his poisonous messages and hate, I just said really with I don't know if it's the right word, like diplomacy, but I basically simply said, I don't understand why you treat us like that, but I don't let anyone treat me like that or treat Jamie like that. So from now on, I have nothing more to talk about with you, and we're gonna leave on that day because we paid up until that day, and that's what it is. And Jamie was like, "Wow, I cannot believe that you sent a message so neutral after all of that," because she wanted to just respond in this, like, she was really, really frustrated too. But still, it's, you really pinpoint something, because yeah, I think I know the answer inside. I think I know that I should not give in to the hate, or I should not. There's this funny. There's this quote from Martin Luther King that I had on my banner on Facebook for a while, and it says, I think it was that. I think it's, let no man pull you down enough to hate him, something like that. So I'm just confronted with that feeling of, I'm all about love and compassion, right? But in some situation, it's so hard. It's so hard to not even let your anger and your frustration come up, and just that your first emotion is understanding the ignorance, understanding his pain, and responding with love. And I preach that. Like, I think that's what people should do, but I'm human. And even if I preach that, it's so hard. It's so hard because you have, it just, we all have, maybe not all, but I know that me and you, we've been raised in families where there was verbal fights and big shouting and arguments. So when someone throw a hate at me, my first reaction is to be angry, is to be like on edge. And I don't know if that's good, like, or correct. I don't know. I'm in a weird state since a couple of days, because he lives where we are, so I have to see him for a week again, and like, yeah.
So on my side, I have a defensive mode in that case. So I'm a bit like you. Like I think it's also something for empaths that is really hard. Is how much do you take in, and how much do you support until you blow out? And that's really hard, because sometimes it makes you sick also, because you don't want to confront necessarily people, because you're like, first of all, it may be a waste of time. Second, because you feel more sad for the people than you feel anything else. You have almost pity, because it's almost like you're thinking what it must have happened in his life or in her life or whatever, for that person to react that way, or to finish where they are. And this is where it's but for empath, I noticed that it's really hard, because you always finish in a situation, you're always finish in a between the rock and the hard place, as they say in English, which is the marteau et l'enclume.
Okay.
You always finish in this situation where you're basically not in any good situation. And I don't know either how to react, because when you look at the other people, they do whatever they want and they don't care about how you feel, and they're really fine with it. And I'm sure you're in a situation where the guy, you know, is in a certain situation and everything, but it can happen to you at work. It can happen to you, you know, with friends. It can happen to you with people that you meet. It can happen with people that have been part of your life, whether intimately or emotionally. And I mean, for me, it's almost abuse, you know, when you arrive at a certain point. Is that power goes in all the ways, you know, in the relation. Like you're his tenant, obviously he has a power on you, and
Right.
I don't think that he should either use that power, you know, against you, because that's whatever type of tenant you are. I don't believe that it's because you're in a position of power that you should use it necessarily against people. But again, that's a really hard thing to do, because there was this thing in France that I was always saying: the hardest thing that you can find is people is the little power, and it's the power to piss you off. They have only one power in their life: it's the power to piss you off. And it's funny, but these people that have this kind of power, they use it like so much against you. Like, you know that anyway, whatever you do, they're gonna use it. It's the people at work that you know, they're the little chef, you know, the little boss, you know, I'm pretty sure that everybody has met at least you know, 100 of people like that. And you can't do nothing against those people. You can't do nothing against those people, because it's the only power they have. It's pissing you off. It's the justice warrior on the internet that comes in the comment and say to you, "Oh yeah, I don't believe it. It's true," you know, and start to piss you off for something that has, you know, it took one sentence in 10,000, and they started to talk to you about that. And the thing is, you know, what can you say? You know, what can you say and what can you do except being in control of you? So the funny part is that, you know, I played a lot of video games online, and I was pissed sometimes in video games, because video games is just like, people are just, if you start losing at some of that, people are just like animals. And it's funny because after a while we were speaking in English, and we had this amusement that we were using, is that when people were pissed off, we were just answering "so" with an exclamation, with an interrogation point. And so what? And people were getting angry by themselves, you know, because you're not answering. You're just basically to say to people, "So what? And why not? Okay, and what does it change?" You know, you go with this kind of, if you succeed, and it's funny because you're talking about that, and the other weekend, you know, I had a "so what" day, as we call them, a "so what," which is you don't care, you just do what you want to do, but being yourself, not like, you know, certainly you're gonna yell on the street because it feels right or something like that. It's not like that at all. It's more like you want to go out, and even if you're dressed we were dressed in training gear, so shorts and everything, we went to a cocktail bar at night, and who cares? And we had, and so what, you know, we wanted a pizza and we had wine with it, so we were eating a pizza outside in a box with glasses of wine, you know, and it was outside in the street because the girl at the pizzeria shop gave us like, and it's like, so what, you know, at the end of the day, it's so what you. And I think this thing, you can use it also in this kind of situation. So what I mean is that and it's not necessarily nice. I'm not saying it's nice where it goes. The more, if I'm in the right state, the more people piss me off, the more I play with them. So the more I'm trying to get how much angry they can get by themselves, by not reacting. Because this is what they wait for. This is what they wait for. They wait for you to not to react. So it's almost, you have to be completely close to what everything they do and everything, and you have to react in the way that you want to react. And
Yeah, but you cannot do that all the time. That's the thing. If they have power over you, that's the worst feeling. I hate that so much. To have someone having the power to tell me you leave your place when I decide, and oh my god, the feeling is one of the worst that I hate. And so yes, I can decide, oh, I'm not gonna react at all or whatever, but my situation still changed. He decided that we would be like, it just put us in more complex situation, because now we need to leave quick. We need to find another place for a month because we cannot leave this town for the next month. Jamie has her yoga classes and everything. So that's what really fucking annoys me. But I get your point. I get your point that yes, you can. I'm not like you though. I would not like play with someone until they get like the angrier they can. But at the same time, at some point they can realize how dumb they are reacting uh, when you push them at this point and you're not doing anything. But I don't think you can do that when someone has kind of the power over you. Because if I piss him more, he can just say like whatever, like you leave today, or I call the cops or whatever. And like for me, I would have just played with him, and it would be in a way kind of like laughing at him, which is not in my head a compassionate way to answer, or just um,
I'm not saying it's a
a
good
way
way
to respect myself. No, I know. That's funny, because you also make me think of Jamie. Jamie, when she doesn't like something, she's vengeful. She would instead of taking in what she did wrong, she would try to make you wrong on something else. And I really hate that part. And
It's funny.
now I
It
just put
makes me.
her in her teeth every time. Like if
So
I
it's
say
so
something,
it's such a couple thing. This is such a couple thing. Seriously, this
oh
is
yeah,
really a couple thing. It's like you're getting
that's
a
a
fight
that's a
because
woman thing. That's a woman thing way more.
don't lie. Like guys are also like that. I was also like that. So I'm not.
Oh yeah,
You know, like the famous stuff, like, oh yeah, you don't clean that. Oh yeah, but you the other day you didn't clean that.
yeah,
it's like, and so it's unpiling the stuff, and it goes on
yeah,
both sides. I don't believe it's a woman thing. I believe it's a couple thing in general. I
yeah.
believe it's a couple thing in general.
It's definitely a couple thing. Maybe it's
Relation, then in general, you do that also with friends, but it's not the same level. Like when you start living
yeah.
with
Well,
someone.
it's just that nobody wants to be wrong. Nobody wants to accept that when they do something wrong, so they feel better if they make you feel wrong instead. And because they feel that okay, we're both wrong, and then they will feel better. But now every time that Jamie does that, I spot it right away and I tell her. Or like I think the worst is like we have a little argument, and then she comes back and she's like, oh, I'm sorry to have said that, but
I don't.
it's because you did that. I'm like, your excuse just got canceled. Like you cannot come and say I'm sorry about that, but it's your fault. Like you're like
The famous
straight
excuse.
saying
I'm
that you're not
sorry,
taking
but
responsibility.
the famous
No, that
excuse. I'm sorry, but so
you can say that.
just one thing on something that you said, because you say so in couple, and then it's kind of vengeful because the person is frustrated, so they want you to feel also frustrated,
Yeah.
right? And you don't think it's the right way to react because blah blah blah. We come back to your landlord. He's frustrating you, and you're asking yourself if you should do retribution or not. Don't you think it's kind of the same thing?
I know where you're going, but I'm not thinking should I do retribution or not. It's more like because it went in waves. So he started by telling us one thing, and then we said like, oh yeah, like because basically Jamie like forgot 2 pots for an hour in the kitchen because she was cooking whatever, and he was like, "Oh, you left the pot there, and like, can you clean the kitchen, whatever?" And we were like, "Dude, we're always cleaning the kitchen, and every time that's not clean, it's because of other clients, other guests. Like it's not us at all." And then the next day he said something more and he sent like angry message to Jamie. And I'm like, okay, he's really on edge, whatever. And then the next day he fucking, like, he pète une coche, like we say in French. He's like he's losing it. And then, but I keep being patient and he keeps being more and more aggressive. So, and then is the message that he sent, the last messages that he sent to Jamie, for me, that was like, if you do one little thing more, you're gonna go too far. And that's where I am. I'm like, what do I do now? If he does something more, where do I stand? Because for me, respecting myself means not letting anyone disrespect me like that. So I don't keep anyone in my environment that don't respect me, because I
Mm-hmm.
respect them and I respect myself. So you disrespected me and I told you that I was disrespected and that I didn't want that. So if you come and you do something more, how how should I react? Should I
Yeah,
should
but
I
that's a,
just
that's a good question, because he's in your life, and anyway, you have to support him until the end of May.
yeah, which is
It's not a
like a
choice.
week.
It's not a choice. That's the problem there. Is that if you have told me, yeah, it's a friend and all that, and he started to be blah blah blah, and yeah, there, you could decide, like, you have two solutions: whether you talk to them and understand, whether you just get rid of them and you live your life. You know.
Oh yeah, there's one thing that I like. If you need to know, is that he doesn't speak English or French. He just speaks Spanish or Italian. So I cannot have a real conversation with him. He can just talk with Jamie. But Jamie, she's not like me, and she always had the tendency to let people walk over her, and that's and she's more and more frustrated at herself the more and more it happens, because she sees me, who doesn't let anyone walk over me because I respect myself. And she, every time that someone, that she doesn't stand for herself, and that someone disrespect her or walk over her, she get more and more pissed. Like I can feel it, like she's really on edge with that, and she's frustrated at herself to let people treat her like that. And I always push her to react. Like, it doesn't matter how you react, you're human, you may react wrongly at the beginning, but don't let people disrespect you, because if you do that, you're you're basically doing a lose-lose deal. Because if one person disrespect you, you feel bad, so you lose, and you play in their game, and you feed their hate game, which doesn't help them also. So it's like a lose-lose setup. And but when you plant your foot, and you
Mm-hmm.
you say, you're you can say whatever you want, but don't like, or more, you disrespect me right now, and I'm not gonna take that. And if you want to go further, you're gonna hit a wall, and that wall can be hard. So just stop. And when you do that, you respect yourself, so you win, because respecting yourself is loving yourself, is taking care of yourself. And on the flip side, you show them. It's like when people don't respect you, when people feel that they can come at you and treat you like shit, it's because they treat themselves like shit, because they've been treated like shit. So if you the moment where you stand for yourself and you say, no, I'm not accepting that, then you're basically breaking their cycle, and in a way inspiring them, because now they see someone that react differently to being treated like shit. that react in a good way, that respect themselves, and then they see they will be pissed, but later on they will see that it's hard to explain sometimes. It's just, for me, respecting yourself and planting your foot and not letting anyone throwing their shit on you is when both win. And the person that's throwing shit won't see it straight away, that it's better for them also, but it is. But if you let someone treat you like shit and normalizing wrong behavior, which is a term that we talk a lot with Jamie, because that's what she does sometimes. Like, she will normalize or excuse someone who do awful things. And for me, that's crazy. Like, you cannot normalize someone that's being a total fucking asshole. And so it's like normalizing bullshit. So when you do that, both party lose. But yeah, there's different level. There's the non-reaction, there's the bad reaction, the non-reaction, the good reaction, the great reaction, and the God reaction. Like, I don't know. it's hard sometimes to choose where to be in that.
I don't know, because you said multiple things in there, and I don't know if I believe so much in the human species as you in there, because believing that because you react the right way, certain people will understand that, but forget it. Like, seriously, like you're wasting your time, you're wasting your breath, you're wasting everything. I don't know. Like,
I'm not talking about changing someone. I'm not
a
talking
little
about
bit, a little bit,
saving
because you're
someone.
saying
No.
a little bit, because you're saying no. Wait for it. You're saying because you react the right way, the other person will be pissed after, but then after that they will maybe understand that, you know, it's the right behavior that you should have, because you should respect yourself and you should respect others.
Yeah, but what I
I
mean
think there is lost causes.
Oh yeah, that I totally agree with you. But what I really mean is more. No, but let me explain. Is that what I mean is more when you take into account that everything that you do in life, you impact other people. You impact.
Mm-hmm.
You always have an impact. Okay.
Yep.
So I'm not talking about consciously wanting a person to change. I'm talking about whatever I'm going to do, I'm going to have an impact. So if there's one way I can have a more positive impact, will that impact make any change? Maybe not. Like, I don't know, but that impact can also feed a bad behavior, or it can at least not feed a bad behavior, or maybe help transform a bad behavior. And so it's more impact wise. It's not that I want to give to guide him or whatever. I guide people when they come to me and they ask me for guidance, like, and I don't want to save him because I believe he's a lost cause, but I still want to have faith that everybody can grow in their life and be happy. Like,
but you see that's the difference, is that for me, no. Like, our energy is limited. If you have faith on everyone, like, poof, it's just like, and this is where it's like, you know, each situation is a bit different. It's like, so I understand the point about, you know, Jamie being too agreeable. That's something else, you know. Generally, like, as Jordan Peterson says, more for women, being more agreeable than guys. I believe that they're more agreeable than certain people. And the thing is that and I get what you say, is that you can react from now, and at the same time you have, like, what, 10 days? Not even 6 days. 6 days, and then you don't see that guy anymore in your life.
Yeah, but if he comes back and he lose it again tomorrow, my patience gauge is already uh, really low now. So because like you say, so if I take what you say, you're like, he's a lost cause, so whatever you do, who cares? So then if he disrespect Jamie again and she doesn't stand for herself, then I should just punch him. That's what you, because it won't
No,
matter.
no, no. If he comes back, I will just tell him, look, we're going in 6 days. We don't want to see you, otherwise I'm calling the police. That's it. Point.
Yeah, well, just a side note, you never want to call the police in Mexico because they're the worst criminals of all. I mean, I'm sure there's good police, but it's like flipping a coin. Like I've heard really harsh story of people that have
Prepare,
interaction with the police in Mexico.
prepare some cash. That's it.
Yeah, but it's not just that. Like sometimes I've heard a story of, I think it's a friend of Jamie, that she had problem something and she went to the police station. I don't remember in which city, and she basically got gangbang raped by the policeman. And when she was just going to ask for help there. So yeah, there's stories that are crazy in Mexico about police. So yeah, just a side note. I'm not sure I would say I would call the police.
The other solution is just to find another flat and just going away.
Oh yeah, yeah. The choice is in our hands, right? We can totally say, look, we lost a week of money, but we don't want to stay in that energy, so we're gonna just go somewhere else for a week. I totally get that. It's for me, like the whole point of all that subject was more talking about my feelings, like how I feel
No, but
torn
I get
between
that, but
these.
at the same time, it's also how much do you accept, and how much do you accept it's in all the ways. Like the power that you have, like now, as we said, the power is in your hand, and you have plenty of choices. The problem is and I got this problem also. It's staying on stuff that is out of your control or doesn't matter. Um, you know, 6 days of rent during Mexico, what it is. For peace of mind, what it is. Because even if you stay and the guy doesn't come back, you're going to think, okay, what about if he comes tomorrow? So it's going to piss you off anyway during 6 days. So the next 6 days will be like almost like a prison sentence. It's like 5 days, 4 days, and you're going to put like sticks on the wall. And you're like, what is it for? It's a bit like this thing, when people separate. And it's funny because I don't talk so much about my dad and the lesson of life that he gave me, but he gave me some good ones, And one of them was, and when I recognize him on that, I put him like, hey, like this one, he gave it to me. And I was splitting with my ex in Canada, and so we were 6 years together, right? And we were living together at the end and all that. So we bought a bed, we bought different stuff. We had a dog, we had like plenty of stuff, right? A barbecue, I love barbecue. And
Me too.
I was explaining to my dad, and it's kind of the same thing, where it's like you enter a situation where you have to split with someone, and then it becomes a situation where it's like almost a tug of war. And as you said, like a person is hurt, and so they want to hurt the other person. And I think a lot of people can relate to that. And it's like, okay, but what do you keep? Do you want to keep some stuff? Yeah, but I want to keep that. No, I want to keep that. And I had my dad on the phone, and he said to me at the time, I remember, he's like, what you gonna do? Like split the bed in two? Seriously, you're gonna take like a seesaw and starting to cut it and take off? And it was like, that's money. Sorry, yeah, that's money. Who cares? Like, that's money. This is what it is. How much? And he asked me, how much costs your peace of mind? And it's crazy, but and this is what is the hardest for me, and I try to recognize now is I think the problem is that we are putting the way we're putting expectation on other people, and we're expecting people to react or to treat us the same way we treat them. And unfortunately, it's never the case. Never the case. I'm a generous person, so I'm gonna be generous with people, but people will not necessarily, recognize it or respect me more for it. They shouldn't anyway, but just respect me for it. They're not gonna do it because, certain people, because it's the way they are, and it's the way they were raised, and it's the way they have their own value. And the problem, I think, it's this expectation that you have on other people, and and this is what frustrates you, and this is what you don't understand. And when it touches you like so deep inside you, I think it's because this is where, for me, it touches your values directly. Because the value is the thing that you have inside you that's most of the people, like, we can't really explain all the values that we have. Like, we explain, oh yeah, one of my values is respect, and my other value is family, but what does it mean for each person? What is respect and what is family? It's just a word, but behind it, there is plenty of things that it means. And when there is something like that happens, it's like directly linked to one of your value. And this is where it's the hardest to deal with, because dealing with that, it's almost like you have two choices. Is whether you're denying yourself, so which means that you're denying what you are inside you, at your core, because you're denying one of your value, or whether you're pushing it more, but that means maybe there is another value behind it that will be denied also. And this is the weird thing. Like, you're someone that care about people and you love people, but at the same time, you're someone that wants to be respected and all that. And so basically you have your two values that are like fighting against each other, because it's which one is the most important. The one, for me, it's more important to be respected, or for me, it's more important to love and kind and compassionate, against other people. Towards other people that are, less fortunate, or whether it's in their mind and everything. And to be honest, I have no answer on that, because for me, it's a fight at work, it's a fight personal life, it's a fight in relationship, it's a fight everywhere. So
you're so right, and I know I really agree with with what your father said, and it made me think a lot while you were talking. Yeah, in fact, I'm thinking way too much right now. I'm still in the podcast. Yes.
No, but that's really, because right now you're talking about the situation. No, but like, the thing is that you're talking about a situation, and I had exactly the same situation at work. My other work, I had this guy in my team, and the way I lead the teams, it's one of the things that I say to the team is that you have all your own space, and you have all your own expertise, and you have all your own personality. The only thing I ask you is be yourself, but respect each other. And if there is something that you don't like, you say it as a team. And also in the external, we are a team. Can you hear me? Because it says connection is stable. The problem is that I had this guy in my team I didn't choose them. You don't choose always who you work with. But I had this guy in my team that was showing up each time late on stand-ups. It was, sometimes we had meetings of the team, he was showing like 45 minutes later, not listening. People were requiring, because people were dependent on him. And I tried everything. And it's someone that you have to work with. So you can't punch him. You can't say see you at 4 at the rack of bicycles. Okay, after work, you can't do that. You're working with them. Okay, so what do you do?
Sometimes that would be better.
I know.
Sometimes, let's be fucking real. Sometimes some people would just need a fucking smack in the face. Like,
seriously,
to just get them to realize that what they do, like just get them out of their fucking little person and their little self, and just like smack them like a big smack, like just, hey man, like just fucking wake up, like you're a total hassle right now. So
Yeah.
sometimes I was just like
And you can try to reason people, you can try to say how you feel. I tried that also, come to one-on-one, say, look, this is how I feel, and yeah, it was working during like 2 hours. Frustration was like, woo, after a year and a half, like the frustration was there. But and so the thing is, right now, you have an escape route, right? You know that in 6 days or even tomorrow you can go out, but sometimes you're in a situation where people how many people are in marriage right now with kids and everything, and they can't go out because whatever the reason, because they think like, because they have kids, because they don't work, so they depend on the money of someone else, and it's super hard to be in this situation. Imagine that every day they're frustrated. Every day they're frustrated like you are right now. Like, what about tomorrow if she asks me to have sex and I don't want to? All the way around. What about, I can't think so many headaches, or I can say that I'm tired from the gym and from work so many times. And there is plenty of people, and I've been also in the situation where you're like, you feel that you're stuck in a situation. I think I wonder, and I have a question for you. Do you think it's our survival instinct that is kicking out?
Oh yeah, totally. Because in this situation, the Maslow pyramid, right? You have your basic survival needs, and
Yeah.
for me, that's exactly, you just pinpoint it. Like that's exactly what it is. It's when a situation come hitting and shaking the security of my really really basic needs. Like if you're messing with the roof on my head, if you're messing with the basic money I have to eat, and like this will really kick my survival instinct, and it's hard to just be zen and compassionate and try to go in this situation when you're basically threatening me. And I really like what you said about when you did the comparison of my situation with when you split with a relationship. And you're so right, because I've done both. I've done splitting in a relationship and leaving in the next hour. And I've done splitting in a relationship and having to stay for a whole month in this environment. And this is the worst. This is the fucking worst. When you split with someone and it's really final, you're so right. It's how much costs your peace of mind, and you should. And that let go is hard, but what comes after is so much better than staying in that environment, because that environment is not for you anymore. And I know I've done both, and I felt so much better when I left straight after that it was done than when I stayed, and like, and you sleep still in you sleep in the same bed, and like,
oh, that's the best.
you're like,
are we
having like sex or whatever? Oh my god, that's the worst. And that on the other side she's probably fucking another dude, and you're like, it just mess with your head so much. And you're right, it's all about money. It's so weird. I never really faced it like that. It's all about money, because literally if you would have $1 million in your account and you split with someone that you live with,
yeah, or you work with,
or
someone that, look, there is plenty of people that don't like their boss and everything. Why do they stay?
Because
give them 1 million. I'm pretty sure they will quit their job tomorrow.
Yeah. And what's really weird is that that's just a belief, because when you think that you cannot leave something, like I cannot leave my job because I'm not gonna have money or to eat or whatever, what you're really saying is that you don't believe in yourself. You don't trust
Mm-hmm.
that you have the resourcefulness to find something better. And all that time you talked about what your father told you, but it made me think of what my father was always telling me when I was young. And it's so weird. Like they were saying the same thing, because when I from 17 to 18, I think I did like 4 like car accident, and never after. Like it's just, I was just experimenting, I guess, at that time. And every time that something would happen, my father always asked me, like first time I would call him after an accident, he would really make sure, are you all right? Are you
Yeah,
all right? Like, are you hurt? Do you have anything? And
I'm waiting for
and I
your
would
expression.
always say like, yeah, I would always say yes. I was really lucky because in neither of these accidents I had a scratch, like nothing. And I was always saying, no, 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 I'm really fine, but the car is a total loss. And he would always say, it's just metal.
It's
It's
just
just
metal.
metal.
I was waiting for this one because it's exactly the same expression from my dad. It's just metal.
It's just metal. It's just money, like it's just metal. And it's so funny because all my life I always thought that my parents were, I don't know, like not really rich, like poor or whatever. And every time these situations would happen, I really was worried of how they would handle that and financially and everything. And then we're 30 years later and they're still going by super fine. Like that fear of lacking money, or that fear that event is gonna destroy your life or whatever, it's always just fear. Because when you just go forward and you're gonna find solution, and you just open up my eyes. And it's so funny that our father were telling us the same thing. uh
On
it,
that, yes, but it's true. You know, it's this expression that says, like money can't don't doesn't make you happy.
Money that can't buy
You know,
happiness, something like that.
can't buy happiness or something like that. And I truly believe, like someone says that, and I say the same thing. This is a sentence and a quote said by a rich person. Certainly not a poor person that said that. Because the thing is that money can buy you happiness. Okay, but it can give you a fucking load of choices. And
Yeah.
when you don't have money and you scrap for everything, like I can tell you that this is where it's really hard to buy happiness. Yeah, sure. Because the thing, in the situation, even my parents that didn't have money and everything, like when I got an accident with a car of my dad, I mean, someone came to me, he said exactly the same thing. He said, like, it's just metal. Who cares? Like, it's just a bed. It's just a bed. Who cares? It's just a barbecue. Who cares? It's really like it gives you another opinion on things, and you're like, and you know what? It's funny because it goes also with other stuff. So right now, I'm being a bit of a. I mean, I'm not really a digital nomad, but I decided to go out from London, and I decided to pack everything into like 1 or 2 suitcases. And suddenly you notice about everything that you accumulate, and you just live on the small stuff. And it's also the things that sometimes block you from going somewhere. You're thinking, oh yeah, but I have a house and I have a thing, and it always impressed me the people that were buying a full house and everything, and then suddenly they decided to go to France and they decided to put everything into a container and bring that to France. And I was always like, what the? How do you do that? And it's yeah, but I kind of want to relate to another talk that we had, because we said we talk also being in abundance, and it was episode 29 or 28, I don't remember. And it's weird because I believe it's in those points where you almost forget to be in abundance.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost those points where they put you in a corner. And it's almost like you have limitless option. You put like constraint into your. It's almost like you don't see all the options that you have. The only option that you have is like, do I fight or do I stay and say nothing? It's almost like the two options that you have in your head, when in reality all the options that you have, or you have plenty of options. You have plenty of options because you're not, I mean, because you're not in a situation that, but I mean, there is people that unfortunately have no option, and maybe some
Yeah.
people that listen to us like that have really, really no option.
Yeah, but
So
oh
yeah,
my God, you're so right. You're so right, because that's exactly how I feel. I feel that I'm so not abundant right now, and that pisses me off, because I've spent months feeling abundant, and the last month or two, it was always going down and down, and and I'm not talking about the crypto market. I was down and down, and my abundance feel less, but it's a feeling, right? And you're so right, because it's, oh my God, I love what you said, because sometimes you're looking like that and you're like, I have two choice. Do I punch him? Do I be compassionate? But really, that's not the only choice you have, because if you go outside of there and you would tell me I'm abundant, I don't give a shit, I will leave that place straight away and go to a super nice hotel to just uh, treat ourselves for a week in with everyone that take care of us and whatever, before we rent a month in some other house. Like, that's really what I would do if I would be super abundant.
or
And
you'll just go for a, you always go on expedition and everything. You just go for the weekend with your stuff, and you go rent a place, next to the beach just for the weekend, and it's already 4 days gone when you think about it. And
yeah,
usually when you look at it, we record on Monday. It doesn't matter, like, because we record on Tuesday. It's not, like it's almost all a possibility. It's other stuff, like when you need a bit of money, like ask your friend. Like, there's plenty of friends that will give you a bit of money because they trust you. It's not money.
wow. I really can't wait to next week episode, because it's kind of will be the what
The
has
follow-up.
happened, the follow up. And seriously,
But it's
I love how we came to that conclusion. Like, it's
but
so good.
But that's the funny thing, is because I think, it's the last discussion that we have in the last month that you made me realize also that stuff for myself. And,
Mm.
since we started this podcast, I was like in a place where I was like, oh, I don't have a job. I lost my job in the UK. I decided to move around. I don't have anything. I mean, between Airbnbs and all that, I changed 5 times Airbnb since I'm here. Five places. I'm not in Airbnb anymore. But and I was in this situation, and you were telling me that, and suddenly now, I found jobs, I have other stuff, and I have more opportunities that I can't afford to manage. So it's a good place to be in, and there is still some stuff in my life that I'm still working on. So it's kind of, I'm giving back.
Yeah,
I'm
and
giving back to you.
I love these moments of, like, teacher student and flip teacher student, and like, it's so weird how emotion can affect your thinking. Because when it's not you that's involved emotionally, you're the right vessel to teach wisdom. And when the opposite happen, a lot of the time you need someone to tell you the same exact thing that you
Yeah,
told them before. And yeah, I like that.
that's
And
good,
what I
man.
was thinking, I was like, we've done 33 episodes, and let's
True.
be honest, like, we don't have a ton of listener, and we didn't really do much to try to get listener. And I think there's a part of me that didn't push that much, because I feel I'm doing that for me. It's like, I
Mm-hmm.
love you, you're my friend, and it's like a therapy every week. I used to not speak of what I feel inside really that much with a close friend. And there's a lot of evolution that you can do by yourself, by introspection, by being in yourself. But there's levels that you cannot go over, that you cannot step higher when you just don't share. when you don't
Mm-hmm.
share, when you don't talk. And I mean, if anything that we say uh, impact positively and guide other people, I'm the happiest man. But I I just realized I was selfish. I just do that for me. I just love talking with you and having the discussion, because we spoke for an hour and I come out of that discussion with such a different point of view on the situation. Of I was thinking I was in like the horses with his flap like that, and just seeing the only these options, when in fact I have tons of option. And yeah, thank you for that. That's really good.
Yeah, don't worry. I'm also in this kind of situation, but it's yeah. So it's good. It's good. It's also
Yeah.
helped me, so it's good. But yeah, you're totally right. I mean, I'm a product manager, so normally I care a lot about analytics and how many users are using my product and everything. And I don't know what is it. First of all, I don't even have access to the analytics, or I have access, but I don't know where they are. So that tells you approximately how much I care. And you're the one that have access. So it's not even you think that we have not many listeners, that we don't even know how many listeners we have.
Yeah,
So
that's true. We don't
that's
even
even
check.
worse. That's even worse.
I don't know if it's worse or if it's better. I mean,
In not
I
knowing,
always
not
told.
knowing, it's worse, because at least if you say like, oh, we have not a lot of listener, we are checking it, so which means that we care about it. So it means that we're even more selfish than what we say, because
No. But I checked here and there, and I saw that was going up. But I mean, maybe it will pick up at like 150th episode. I don't know. I was just realizing that it's a lot of episodes. Some podcasts don't even have 30 episode, and yeah, but whatever. Yeah, I don't care. I love listeners. I love interact that they interact with us when they do. I was just thinking of how this thing benefits me, like how it impacts me
mm-hmm.
positively, and I just love it for that. And that's what I wanted to do at the beginning. I just wanted to have that two guy in a pub discussion when we talk, but we were doing it without recording it, and I just thought that maybe someone will benefit from it. So I said, well, let's just do a podcast with those discussion. Why not?
That's
um,
true.
yeah.
I'm gonna say the meme on I mean the quote on
Yeah.
Instagram that was for a while. Women go to therapy, men start a podcast.
There you go.
Someone sent
Just
it
need
to
to
me, so I
talk.
found it funny. And I found
That's
it
really
funny.
funny.
So on that note, you can follow us
Yeah.
on YouTube or
Yeah.
at naked_podcast on Instagram. And I'll let Matt finish. Thanks all for listening to us. And thanks, Matt, for the discussion as usual.
Yeah. Thanks to you too. And yeah, I was just thinking about how we say heroes, and how in I just realized we were also heroes, that apply to us. Like, when you give me this guidance, I feel you're my hero. Like, you're telling me other option that will enhance my life, and I really like that. And yeah, just wanted to sign note on that. But always remember, the most important thing for us, at least, but we really believe super strongly in it. It's to be yourself and to have fun. And when you feel that you're missing fun, just mean that you need to change something. If you don't have enough fun on your daily basis, you just change something, and you find back that fun. So yeah, by the way, I'll be moving a lot in the next few weeks, I guess. And after that also, because we're going to travel. So sorry if my sound may sound a little less good. I will do my best to have the best sound every time. And also, we may have a little surprise for next week episode. I'll leave you with a little tease. And I said may, and we may have. Let's see. So see
We'll
you
see,
next
Matt.
week, my
See you next
friend.
week.